also to clarify, I'm not saying I'm not going to make any more Britney Spears videos. I'm just not doing only that. I made a few notes because I do want to just sort of tell people who are following me and are curious what I personally believe about the situation. So, Britney, where do I think she is? My best case scenario, hoping, is that she did somehow escape from these people who I believe, the conservators, who I think are controlling her life and her money for ill-begotten gains. My best case scenario is that she really is somehow on the run. She does have some friends with resources, cars, cell phone, money, something. That's my best case scenario. Worst case scenario that I think is probably the most realistic is that she's still basically being held against her will, captive, and maybe even being pharmaceutically drugged against her will because she wants to get out of this conservatorship. I believe that as far as her father goes, I think he's a crook and a criminal. As far as her sister, I think she's probably complicit. Her mom, I think, also a crook and a criminal. Jason, well, romantically, I'd love to believe that he really loves her. Jason Alexander, gosh, I really, the most romantic, happiest, wishful thinking is that he really loves her, that they really are in contact, and that he is somehow really actually helping her to escape from this. But there's also the possibility that he kind of is just using her name for money, for fame, for clout. I don't know. I don't have a judgment because I heard his interviews. He sounds sort of sincere, but then there's some questionable things like, well, and I don't want to get all to that. So with him, it's a question mark. Is he sincere? Is he really helping her? Or is he another user? I don't know. More on Jason. I heard his interviews, and on one hand, he really sincerely seems to love Britney. He also seemed like they really did get married thinking it was going to go somewhere, but they really were super incredibly young and naive, and then he really did get tricked to annul it under the false lie that they told him that they would have a chance to get to know each other, to date and do all that stuff. So I really do feel that he was duped and lied to. But then there was that, thing where he said he had a DV against his ex. I don't know. That sounds sort of questionable. But knowing what I know about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, I'm not going to automatically assume the worst. So there's that. And then, he says that he's spoken to her. I have no way to know if it's true or not. Maybe it is true. Some of the stuff that he posts looks like he's trying to help her. Some of the posts seem a little bit questionable. Like, are you just keep regurgitating the same old stuff? And he even said that he sold some of her pictures for money, but he admitted it himself, and he said that she understood. So I don't really know. Does that make him shady or does that make him honest? So I'm hoping that he has her best interest at heart, but I genuinely cannot make a judgment. That's how I feel about Jason Alexander. Question mark. Then there's the very real facts that I believe Jason Alexander speaks about in regard to Britney Spears and the whole corrupt industry itself. And is it possible that all of these so-called crimes that he's committed is just more of the smear campaign that they do on Britney and they do on any type of celebrity who stops being the perfect little puppet and stops falling in line and stops, being the sponsor for whatever they're supposed to sponsor, and then they actually have the nerve to start to speak the truth. And then, like Randy Quaid has this whole thing. Is Randy Quaid an absolute insane lunatic, off the rails, psycho babbling lunatic? Or is he speaking on some real fucking truths? So again, with Jason Alexander, has there been an active smear campaign against him to make him look like a corrupt user because he's speaking the truth of the corruption that Britney Spears is literally living under the claws of? So I really would love to believe that Jason Alexander truly loves Britney Spears and Britney Spears loves her, and he's some kind of hero who's under the radar working. Oh, he's not under the radar. He was literally there. So I don't know. I'm hoping for the best, but curious question mark. Then you've got the conservatorship itself. I believe that she was put there without needing to be. From all of the things that I have looked, the rabbit holes that I've gone down and the paths of research that I have followed, it does seem to me that the most likely truth is what fucking VH1 said about her secret childhood back in 2006, which is that her parents were broke as fuck, and there they saw their meal ticket in her, and they fucking exploited the shit out of her, and they let her get into the hands of these exploitative agents that I do believe is a big corrupt web. Part 3, my Britney Spears theory. Then you've got all the other pieces. You've got the gossip mongers who make money off of that. You've got so-called fans who just make a lot of noise. They want clicks. They want clout. Maybe they're looking for money. Then you've got AI or deepfakes or Photoshop and old content. So I do believe that I haven't seen a recent content from Britney Spears in at least 6 months. And I do believe that she hasn't been seen in public for real in at least 6 months. And that seems scary. And it seems to me that she either has escaped, so they have to reuse old content because they can't fucking have content of her current, or they don't make current content of her because she's being held captive in some sort of capacity where she's unwilling and or unable to make content that the people who are controlling her want her to make. So can they even get current content? Do they have access to her? Are they able to film her currently? Can she film herself currently? That's another thing I made a video about as well, that if the storyline that the so-called whoever's pushing out was true, that she's just simply not mentally well and she's posting stuff, why does she look like a hostage? Why does it look like ex-trafficking stuff? Why does it look old and regurgitated? Why isn't it just her being, current, like crazy but current? You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is very questionable. Where is she? Why does it look so weird? If it was just all now, but just someone not healthy, I believe it would look very different. And maybe that's proof that she's not with the people who supposedly are running this account, and she's not posting because she's trying to get free, or they have her and they're not actually, like, I don't believe that all this cryptic stuff, maybe it's her, I don't know. It's just too weird to know, really. I think maybe there are actual stand-ins like they have in Hollywood all the time, and they do use Photoshop and some AI, but I don't know, is she with them or is she on the run? Part 4, end of 2022, thoughts, theories on Britney Spears is, I don't know. My hope and wish is that she really did get away from the people that I do believe, the conservatorship people, have only ill will towards her. I believe all the current gossip coming out, like P. Hilton and all these people, I think it's just noise. I think it's just fake. They, being the conservatorship people, are either covering up what they're doing to her, or they're covering up the fact that she's actually escaped. As far as her so-called crazy content, and what if the truth was like the most simplest, like she really is crazy, the content is hers, she's posting all that weird shit. That could be. I kind of think it's most likely that they're using her page for sex trafficking. And I do believe that the comments are either being written by people who are literally sending messages to people who are sex trafficking, and they know what the fuck it means, and they are talking about little kids and all this stuff, and like maybe her complex really is being used to genuinely seems more plausible to me. As I said, I really believe that there is a lot of corruption going on in Hollywood, in the music industry. I do believe that Britney Spears got caught up in that web. I believe that her parents found her to be a lot more profitable by using her and exploiting her, and then stealing her money by putting her in a conservatorship. I think the things that she went through back when the whole thing happened, anyone would be having struggles, and anyone would have flipped out having their kids taken away. And I don't think that even if a person has mental health issues, that therefore they should be put in a conservatorship. I've talked about that in other videos, that even if she had mental health issues, that is not a reason to lock her up in this thing. And I believe any mental health issues she really does have comes from how she was treated, how she was raised, and how her life has gone. And so therefore it's really a reflection of the abuse that she's been enduring, and not some failing in her. So my most hopeful wish for her is that somehow she truly does get free legally and permanently, and then she can blow all her money if she wants to, or she can do whatever the heck she wants to. It's none of my business. And I'm going to continue on making the content that I can to hopefully reach people and help them heal and up level and have happy. And I'm so genuinely grateful for certain creators who are really doing deep dives. They're investigating Britney Spears. They're looking into all the shady people. They're looking into that corrupt web. They're figuring out this person, that person, and their connections. And, you know, I said P. Hilton, like Perez and Paris. And then there's like all those celebrities and the whole Hollyweird and like all this stuff. And it gets really deep. It gets really dark. It's like true crime. It's like mystery. It's like, what the fuck is happening? It's like scary, scary shit. It's like, ooh, there's a lot of corruption and power and money, and it's just like, did you see the Kardashian party for Christmas? It looked like a devil. It's like red and black, and I was like, that's some straight up scary shit right there. But maybe it's just an aesthetic. I don't know, you know. So I am so grateful for those fans and those Free Britney movement people who are really doing the work. Some of those people are off the rails, or they just whatever. Everybody has their own agenda, their own perspective. So I'm grateful for the people who seem grounded in reality and actually in the legal, trying to help her. And I'm going to be over here. I'll post about it if something interesting happens, but